When I heard about the Peace Corps and the adventure and what you could do, there was no doubt in my mind that that's what I was going to do. I had been in a ski accident, and I had been wheeled up to the University of California, Berkeley. It was right up in the front row on the floor of the stadium, and out of the tunnel came this amazing man. And the sun was hitting his hair, it had like a reddish tone to it, and he was walking with his hand on his back. And I can close my eyes and see it clearly at this moment as he walked by me and caught my eye and walked up on that podium and gave the call to service. And when he said those words, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country," my heart was already primed to serve.
This man was?
John F. Kennedy. And I had planned to go to the university, and in that era, my father said to me, he said, "Well, why would you want to go to the university? You're so good at doing hair. I can set you up in a beauty salon, and you don't even have to do the books." He said, "I'll hire somebody to do that. You can just do the artistic things." This was my father. So that's the thing that was really hard for women at that time, the vision. And so this was just a burst of hope and international and service and going around the world and helping people. And I was going to get that ticket no matter what. So I went on to University of California, Berkeley, graduated from there, and met John Garamendi along the way. And when he proposed our senior year, I was really caught off guard because I already had my plans made. And he had been drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. He had a full ride for Harvard Business School. And, and I said, "I'd love to marry you, but I'm going in the Peace Corps." He said, "Marry me, we will go together." And so we left the day after graduation and spent the next 2 years in the mud hut. What a great way to start a marriage.
Really?
Who cares? We had our 2 suitcases and we just made it. We just had a ball. And we laughed and loved. We really loved it. Yeah. My students, they started taking care of us. See, because, that's what's so wonderful about Peace Corps. You live at the same level as the people. You speak their language. You unpack your bags and you stay, and they adopt you. We made a deal before we went in the Peace Corps because he deferred his Harvard MBA program, and we were going to do this for 2 years, and we were going to go back and do that. But then I got so involved, I just never wanted to leave Ethiopia. But what happened was one afternoon in April, and there was shortwave radio in town, and that's where any news from the outside would come. And I'm there, getting ready for the next class, and I can hear the wailing coming from the village as they made their way up the hill, and they were wailing and wailing and wailing. I can still remember them coming to the door, and Bafakato, who was the oldest of the students, he was standing at the door, and he was the spokesperson. And he said to me, "Why did you kill the father of all black men?" And I said, "What are you talking about, Bafakato?" Because then they all just were crying, and it was carrying on. He said, "Why did you kill the father of all black men?" I said, "Please just tell me what you heard on the radio and tell me what is happening." And they told me about Martin Luther King's assassination. And so I started bawling and shared the grief with them and told them what a tragedy it was for our nation, how horrible it was for all of us. It was just awful. And so we grieved, we carried on. And then just a few weeks later, in June, I heard the same voices again. And I said, "Now what has happened?" And they said, don't worry, it's going to be okay." And I say, "What's going to be okay?" They said that Robert Kennedy had been assassinated. They said, "But don't worry, Mrs. Garamendi. We took time and we had a village meeting, and we have come together, and we are not going to let you go home because something bad could happen to you back in America. And we are all going to build you your own chikabet, and we're going to take care of your children, and we're going to keep your garden green, and you don't have to go back and have anything happen to you." And I told them, I said, "I must go back. I must help. There is so much work to be done at home, and Mr. Garamendi must go back and help more than ever." And so that was what we did.